Hey gang, thanks for being here. So most women think that they struggle with boundaries because they might be too emotional or too nice. That has something to do with it. The truth is we weren't taught boundaries. If you grew up in the 80s, there was a shit ton that we weren't taught. One of those was boundaries. Um, and it had to do with being too nice, to be little girls were taught to be accommodating and adaptive and nice and to not have boundaries. So in reality, even though this is what we were taught, the issue goes much deeper. It's in your energy field itself. All right. So if you feel drained or overextended or like fused with other people's needs, this video will explain why. So if we haven't met, I'm Rachel Isabella. I am a medical intuitive and energy healer, and here we explore energetic awakening, emotional clarity, things like that. So today I want to share three energetic patterns that I see over and over again. And these patterns can make boundaries very difficult to have. The first one is that you have a porous energy field. So for many people, the issue isn't a lack of boundaries, it's a lack of like an energetic containment. Okay. So when your field is porous, you naturally absorb emotions, expectations, even tension from the people around you, right? So common signs of this are like feeling drained after conversations, anticipating someone's needs before they even speak. It's like you're just hypervigilant, changing your tone or your behavior depending on who you're with, and feeling responsible for other people's comfort. And that's also something we were taught, make everybody feel good. So a porous field is something that usually forms in childhood when you had to attune to others for safety. So your system learned if I feel them, I can stay safe because I can anticipate how I need to be. As an adult, it becomes really confusing, because there's this point where you're like, is this emotion even mine? Is it mine or is it theirs? And I'm just saying, sure, I'll take that for you. And if you can't tell what's yours and what someone else's, if you can't tell where you end and the other person begins, boundaries are impossible. Second thing I want to say is survival-based people pleasing. So there is an energetic pattern that I call survival pleasing. It's not the same as being kind. It's an old nervous system strategy that says, if I don't disappoint anyone, I can avoid conflict and I can avoid rejection. So again, it's about staying safe. You may have grown up in a space where being agreeable was safer than being honest. And something that happens as we get older is that whole like, oh, I just don't give a shit anymore. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care if I lose a friend. I don't care if I'm alone with my cats. Because your body is, after so many years of adapting and being agreeable, your body is like, just tell the truth. Just be honest. Um, so your energy automatically bends towards others if you're in this survival mode, even when you don't want to, right? So what does this look like? It looks like saying yes when your body says no. It means carrying the emotional load in relationships to keep the peace. It means that, of course, you minimize your own needs. It also means avoiding direct communication because it's too scary, because the other person doesn't know how to listen. Or maybe even if the person knows how to listen, you don't know how to state what you want to state. Um, and here's the important part. This isn't a personality flaw. This is something that was taught to you. This is how you were programmed to be. It's a survival imprint. And a survival imprint is going to override boundaries every time. It's survival, right? So the third thing I want to talk about is emotional fusion. So one of the most powerful patterns that I see, especially in sensitive and intuitive women, is emotional fusion. So this is when your emotional field becomes entangled with someone else's, often because you learned early on that staying connected meant merging. So it can feel like losing yourself in a relationship. It can feel like feeling responsible for how other people feel. It can be prioritizing someone else's emotions rather than your own. And it can also be like struggling to separate your desires from their expectations. So there are things about yourself that you don't pursue because this other person isn't going to like it. So that's enmeshment. So when you're fused with someone, then saying no feels like you might lose connection, right? And if you're seeing this person as like your lifeline, then that becomes more important than boundaries. Your body will interpret boundaries as a threat to this relationship. So even when you mentally know what you need, your energy won't back you up, right? So in my healing sessions, this is one of the most transformative shifts, learning how to stay connected without dissolving into someone else's emotional space. Go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know about your boundaries or when you realized that you needed boundaries. I was not taught boundaries um, as a kid, and my relationships as an adult, especially in my marriage, there were no boundaries. He did not want them. He was very obsessive and possessive of me, and I had never been taught how to say, "Hey, hey, hey, this is not where you need to be. You need to back off." And so there was tremendous amount of enmeshment in my marriage. And after I left, I realized, oh, I don't have boundaries like at all. And putting up boundaries in my life was life changing. And it protected my energy so much. So let me know in the comments if what was your moment of clarity, or maybe you haven't had it yet and you'll have it here. So I do want to give you a journal question that helps you understand your boundary patterns on a deeper level. If you don't like to journal, that's fine. Just sit and reflect. I don't like journaling. So here's the prompt. So where in my life do I feel responsible for emotions that don't belong to me? And you can take your time with that one. Um, it's often the doorway to understanding your energetic boundaries. Where in my life do I feel responsible for emotions that don't belong to me? I think a lot of us, Gen Xers, we have this with our parents, where because we were taught to be nice and accommodating, and there's this whole thing about wanting mom and dad to be proud or wanting the adults around us to be proud. There is this huge responsibility of rather than just living your life for yourself, you're living your life looking for the approval. Yeah, that's a great question to start understanding your energetic boundaries. So if this opened up something for you, feel free to subscribe. I do share weekly teachings to help you navigate this, understanding your energy, your patterns, and your awakening journey more deeply. Thanks so much for sticking to the end. I'll see you in the next video.